on Sunday this goes into effect. You just need to be familiar with where you can and can't carry.
Basically, leave your gun at home. That's basically what they're telling you.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
have any arguments against that right now, and I want to see how it goes.
I'm just gonna go over exactly the locations that they're saying we can't carry in because it's public, right? Public gatherings. And they even said something along the lines of where
sounds
you
like
buy.
a setup.
Yeah, you're gonna a place where you will buy a concert or something like that. So this carousel that I shared 2 days ago, and basically it says this is Maryland Senate Bill 1, and I'm informing people that follow me that hey, this is on Sunday this goes into effect. So as in the other video that I just showed, I briefly went over. I just talked about or listed the title. So an area for children or vulnerable individuals, but this includes preschool or kindergarten facility, a private primary or secondary school, and you see that says private. How can you tell people if they have a private establishment or school what they can and can't do or can and cannot allow?
That is true. That is true.
Which is one of the reasons why that injunction was passed, because you can't tell somebody, hey, no, person can't come into your establishment carrying.
Okay, question. What if you live near, or you usually jog or walk in areas like this, and you carry when you walk? Like I don't know if women, if I was a woman and I carried, I would definitely carry it while I'm walking or running in the morning or at night, because I see some people choose to do it when it's dark out and they got their little stick out just in case a dog jump out, they could pop them in the top of the head or something. But
right.
what if one of those places are near where you're moving and you were to be pulled over? Will you be held liable for violating these laws, this rule?
You're talking about a restricted area, a restricted place?
Yeah, like a youth, a healthcare facility. You're jogging near a healthcare facility. There's a Kaiser Permanente nearby, within 100 yards.
This is per SB 1, right? So prior to this legislation, typically, hospitals will not allow, some hospitals have metal detectors or whatever. So it's not smart to carry because they're going to, see it, or some hospitals will have signs, right?
I mean, I guess these places that's listed, you're not going to take any guns in there anyway.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
around, you're fine. If you're around.
If you have a permit and you live in an area where there's a school and you have a permit and you're in that zone, you should be fine. There shouldn't be an issue. Now, if you're going in the school, like if there's a difference between it being private or public, right? Government funded or not. So there's so many variables. So you just need to be familiar with the area that you're in, whether the place is public or private, and what their policy is. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me so far.
Okay.
Is this an issue for y'all as gun carriers right now? Like, would you see an issue running into any of these places that they have listed so far?
As far as this first slide, I don't have kids, so.
Then what's the list?
Or a healthcare facility. If I'm going to go to the doctor, I'm probably going to need to lift my shirt. They're going to have to take my, temperature and all types of stuff. So it probably isn't smart to have your firearm on.
Right.
It's an issue for me because I'm a nurse and I usually carry every day. So now that's concerning. And then slide 2 and 3 is also concerning because you pretty much can't carry anywhere.
So, and let's see, a healthcare facility, a location that is being used as a shelter for runaway youth. So this other slide is a government or public infrastructure area, a building owned or leased by a unit of state or local government, a building of a public or private institution. Again, they're telling private institutions or whatever, they're trying to say you can't, and that private institution is the one that dictates that,
Yeah.
That's usually how it works with schools. A location that is currently being used as a polling place or for canvassing ballots. What if the polling place is in, I'm not sure if it's typically in a public school or, I don't know, again.
Public schools or libraries. A lot of
community centers or something.
Mm-hmm.
So then an electric plant or electric storage facility, how's this even coming up?
I think because those people who shot up at that one electric plant and It happened maybe 2 years ago.
Somebody shot at
Shot
an
at
electric plant.
Yeah, it's just dumb stuff.
Messing it up for everybody.
Right? Just stupid.
But was the person who shot up the plant, were they a law-abiding citizen? Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. But they're taking this and running with it and trying to infringe on our rights as gun owners because of something some idiot did 2 years ago.
Exactly. Special purpose area, a location licensed to sell or dispense alcohol. That the injunction pretty much got rid of this restriction for now. They put a pause on this. A stadium, a museum, location being used for an organized sporting or athletic activity, a live theater performance, a musical concert, etc., etc. So, and then here we have a racetrack. Like some of these examples are like very specific, you know, a video lottery facility.
So this is pretty much that video lottery facility could be a gas station. Cause you know, most of these places that have these machines now that you can buy lotto tickets to the grocery store. So you mean to tell me I can't go into the grocery store because I might be. So again, it's those tricky little, basically leave your gun at home. That's basically what they're telling you.
Right.
You know,
like somebody posted, I think it was this post specifically. They were like, well, can we get a list of where we can carry at this point? Public gathering, or it says this one right here, within 100 yards of a place where there is a public gathering, a demonstration, or an event which requires a permit from the local governing body is being held. If signs posted by a law enforcement agency conspicuously and reasonably inform members of the public that the wearing and carrying and transporting of firearms is prohibited. So, and this slide right here is just, you know, letting people know that, you know, I'm providing this information, but it's your responsibility to read this bill and familiarize yourself with the bill, the restrictions, because ignorance is not a justification if you get stopped or get caught, you know?
Yep. Like now,
you have the slide with the fines and the time that you can use. That's important too.
What the fines? Oh, you want to know what we're going to be penalized for?
Yeah, because it's because the bill has all this different stuff in it. You can read it and become familiar. But what if you just happen to, you know, have your gun on you and you're in one of these places and you happen to get pulled over or stopped and you didn't realize that you can go to jail for a year? Is that a year or something?
Wow, no, I ain't got no time to go to jail for a year. I got a couple things I need to take care of.
So this is the thing. Maryland is a you do not have to inform the police that you're carrying. You do not have a responsibility to inform the police that you're carrying. So with this SB1, I didn't see. I would have to go through it again, but I didn't see anything about that. I didn't see anything in the legislation saying, okay, now you have a duty to inform. But I guess if they put that in there, they're saying, okay, well, if you break the law, you should let the cop know. It's confusing. So Maryland is a state where you do not have a duty to inform. Virginia, for instance, or DC, for instance, is in the district, you have to let the cop know that you're carrying if you're stopped, if there's an interaction. So
as soon as they pull you over, they come to your window and ask for your license and registration. You let them know you're also carrying.
Where you're saying Maryland?
Yeah, in Maryland.
Well, in Maryland, you do not.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to.
There's no duty.
So you can just give him your license and registration, send him along his way, and
now, however, in classes when I have students, I let them know, okay, even though this state doesn't require you to inform the police that you're carrying, you have to use discernment, right? Like if you feel like they're going to ask you to get out the vehicle and they're justified or whatever, or you're going to comply regardless, it's probably a good idea to let them know you're carrying, you know? It's probably smart to say, okay, officer, not say, hey, I have a gun, but say, you know, I am a permit holder, wear and carry permit holder. I would say put your hands on the steering wheel, probably already have it ready or have it close by so that you could just grab it and show them your permit, because you're supposed to have your permit on you when you're carrying, you know, because you could get into trouble for that as well. Right. So it depends on the circumstances. You just have to use your brain and discernment and say, okay, maybe I should let them know. This is prior to this SB1 going into effect.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell my clients, my students. So
can you also let them know too? It might be helpful, all right, to keep like a MAGA hat inside the glove box. So if the police pull you over,
they don't care.
Throw that bad boy on.
I've seen MAGA hat wearing
God
people
bless
that
America.
look like this. Still get tickets.
I'm just listen.
I know you're messing. Oh, look at Van.
Yeah, I pinned his.
I was missing like a mug. I was shooting sideways, and she's like, "You're getting on my nerves now. You just now hit it like 5 times ago." But
he's trying to shoot that man that shot Ricky.
That was supposed to be qualifying. You killed it. You did well.
Okay, I did okay on that one. All right, I'm sorry. You can go ahead, teach. Hey, and C1, my bad for not speaking to you, big dog. How you doing?
It's all good. I'm just came in and catching up on the conversation.
I bet. All right.
Hello.
So,
hello, Trisha, and hello, Jennifer.
How are you?
All right, I'm good.
So this I posted today, and I basically wanted everybody to know about the consequences of being caught carrying. I'm not encouraging people to break the law, unconstitutional law at that. I don't agree with it, but I'm not encouraging or discouraging. I'm just providing the info, and people do with it as they will. I personally think that, and this is not me encouraging to break the law, but if you're concealed carrying, nobody's supposed to know anyway. So, exactly. But here are the consequences. Basically, is consequences for being caught, exceptions to SB1, which is interesting when I go through it, and then organizations that are fighting for our rights, specifically SB1, this unconstitutional bill. So these are the consequences for violating this law. One is imprisonment not exceeding 1 year. On the original bill, it was like 9 months, and then they increased it to a year. Number 2 is a fine not exceeding $1,000. I believe on the actual bill.
Is this either or? Like, is this the fine or potentially up to a year, or is it both?
It could. I don't know. It depends on the judge. It depends on the DA. It depends. I mean, we don't know. It's one, the other, or both.
First offense, second offense, all that might come into play.
It doesn't even say that at all. So originally they wanted to fine us $3,000. That was the original.
That's absolute madness. I'm saying that's absolute madness.
Right, and then I guess maybe when the governor was about to sign it, they probably reviewed it and it was like, oh, this 3,000 is probably too much, and they brought it down to 1,000. And then originally it was 90 days. Up to 90 days in prison, and they increased that to a year. Because I'm looking at the bill with the corrections, like it has the original language on it, and I can see what they changed.
Wait a minute, time out. So somebody went to the negotiation table and said, rather than it being 3,000, that's too much. Let's see if we can get it down a little bit. They say, okay, we'll give you 1,000. Mm-hmm. And then they said, okay, but we got to, give some, take some. It's like at first it was 90 days and now it's a year. That's a big damn difference. That's a huge, if it's going to come down already, it should have stayed at 90 days. Then
it should have stayed at 90 days. Shouldn't have been there at all, but
shouldn't have been there at all, but
they want to make examples of people. So, and to answer your question, Van, so here in the bill that I'm looking directly at it says for a second or subsequent conviction, imprisonment not exceeding 15 months or a fine not exceeding $7,500 or both. They scratched that all out. Like they were trying to a second offense, not exceeding 15 months, and then they were trying to charge up to $8,000.
You said you're looking at that. That's not the screen you're sharing with us. You're looking at that on another screen.
Yes.
No. It's all good. It's just okay. I mean, if you want to, you can. You know what I mean? It's just this is crazy right here.
So let me see.
I mean, it's crazy if you're a law-abiding citizen. If you are just out there trying to make sure that you good, you know what I mean? No, like you gotta always be aware of. It could be nighttime. You're not going to be sometimes I go places and don't even look up at the damn buildings. I just come there straight for what I'm there for.
Yeah,
and I'm out. You know what I mean? But sometimes I don't really know if I'm in a place where it's a health and wellness place. And I go to the store right now to get something to eat. And can I take it to a place to get something to eat? Because it's a therapist spot right by
a public gathering. So that's why it's so frustrating.
Okay, so so leave it in the car. Isn't it? You're not okay.
What's the purpose of
have a lockbox? I mean, you're supposed to have a lockbox in your car, Van.
I'm saying, but every single store you go to, you probably
the issue with it is unconstitutional because again, it's infringing on your Second Amendment rights. Period. So the fact that they even fixed their fingers to write this bill and then sign it is absolutely bananas to me. I just don't understand.
It works for them. I mean, it works for them in some type of way.
They're gonna get sued. Well, they're getting sued right now.
Is this just for DC?
No, it's Maryland.
Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could carry in DC. right? You can't.
You can carry in these, but they have a lot of restrictions. Kind of like if you, I guess, similar to this kind of, but there's a lot of federal buildings and stuff. So it's kind of like you just need to be familiar with where you can and can't carry. So a lot of people that I know of just keep it in their vehicle, but then when they're sure of a location where they can carry, then they take it out.
So that's the move. You keep it in the lockbox inside of your car until you are somewhere where you know you can carry it on yourself.
Right. I mean, that would be the smartest thing to do, not break the law. We're not encouraging anybody to break the law here. So just want to make
the law. I break the law every day. I be speeding, bro. ain't no speeding cameras out here. Oh, go ahead and go 7 miles over the speed limit.
Living dangerously, man.
Just seven. I be seeing other people balling out. Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that at all.
Okay, so any questions about this? Any other questions about this slide?
Nah,
Okay. So the exception. So I anybody that's military that I knew, again, I'm only human. I'm not perfect. So I had to go back through the bill today because I did this post about the consequences of breaking SB 1. So I thought up until today that if you were military, you were exempt, period, right? But according to the language here, per the bill, because it's the exact language, maybe a little modification just to shorten it a little bit. But a member, this is number 3, a member of the armed forces of the U.S. National Guard or the uniformed services on duty or traveling to and from duty. So yeah, if you're military, a veteran or military period, and you don't have a firearm because you're not security forces or something like that, then yeah. But it doesn't really say, it says uniform services on duty or traveling to and from duty. It's crazy. Like everybody is at risk for the most part now.
So veterans can't move the way they used to move. They're going to have to relax a little bit. Sorry, Trish. Sorry. Thank for your service.
Would you mind repeating that one more time? You said going to or from service?
Yeah, so it says a member of the armed forces of the U.S. National Guard or the uniformed services on duty or traveling to and from duty. It doesn't say that you have to have a job that requires you to carry, but it's just saying specifically on duty or traveling to and from your job.
That's kind of vague.
That sounds like all day, the whole time.
I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Right.
That's it.
Yeah, and it does sound vague, Trisha.
Mm-hmm.
So the other exception is number 1, law enforcement official or police officer, an on-duty employee of a law enforcement agency authorized by the agency to possess firearms on duty or whose duty assignment involves the possession of firearms. And then the last one on this slide, an ROTC program member participating in an activity for an ROTC program.
Wow.
Then we have, next slide, a correctional officer or warden of a correctional facility in the state. I didn't even realize there were railroad police officers. So
maybe Amtrak.
They need
so
it.
These officers, sorry.
I said they need it. They need it there. My God, especially in New York. No shade.
The local police that came out, but I guess they're specifically assigned.
They're MTA,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So then these police officers, and then 7 is an employee of an armored car company acting within the scope of employment with a valid permit or transporting a handgun issued under Title 5, Subtitle 3 of the Public Safety article. And then last, a retired law enforcement official in good standing from a U.S. law enforcement agency. So this slide is just basically, letting people know, as of right now, these are the organizations that I'm aware of that are actually, there are lawsuits, they're fighting for our constitutional right to carry here in Maryland. We have the NRA, which is the most popular. We have the Firearms Policy Coalition. I'm a member of all 3 of these, by the way. And then Maryland, I'm an NRA instructor as well. So
here's my Maryland shall issue card. Woohoo!
That's what I'm talking about.
So there's a meeting on Sunday, actually. I don't know if you got that email. Okay, I'll forward it to you if you don't have it. But so these are the organizations that I recommend that, if you can't be a member of all 3 of them, if you want to choose one, maybe there are a lot of people that have an issue with the NRA, that's fine. If you want to join the Firearms Policy Coalition, or either pick one or pick all 3, if you donate, sometimes with these organizations, once you donate, they make you a member automatically. FPC is like that.
For
So
real?
yeah, you donate. And
Because
I've donated.
I be getting random calls sometimes from police officers trying to guilt me into, man, look, we trying to save the day, and you know, we jumping through fiery windows and kissing babies, all that. You gonna give us some money? And I'd be like, man, nah, because I don't know if this is real or I don't know, man. Maybe I should.
Well, I don't know if the Firearms Policy Coalition are police officers. I know that they're, patriots trying to fight for our 2A rights. So there could be retired law enforcement or members that are law enforcement as well.
So retired military cannot carry, but retired law enforcement can.
From what I read, yes, correct.
All right. Why is that?
So just because somebody's military doesn't mean I'm military, and like I said, my 2A journey actually started after, well, I'm still technically connected to the military, but I didn't really come as proficient, and I still have a lot of work to do, obviously, but I didn't become an instructor and start my journey because of the military. It started because I actually took it upon myself to train and all that good stuff. So people in the military who have jobs that don't require them to, use firearms or anything like that,
And
they're
it's
not
a lot
all
of them.
experts.
And it's a lot of them. It's a lot of jobs in the military that don't require you to use guns.
However, if you're part of the military, you still have to qualify. So when I first joined, we had a requirement to qualify once a year. Then it turned into, well, whenever there was a slot available. Then it turned into right before you deploy. And then my experience, personal experience, and I can't speak for any other military member, is when I went through training, it felt like they were just trying to get us in and get us out. I don't feel like the fundamentals that I teach and the way I instruct, I feel like I didn't get that. I didn't get that from military instructors,
But maybe that's why you're the type of instructor that you are, because you give the type of services that you
didn't receive.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who hate the military, and there's a lot of hate about instructors that are former or current military members. And, at the end of the day, I think it's a combination of people just hating the military. And then I also think that it's justified because some people will lead with that. Oh, I'm military. So, the implication is, well, I know what I'm doing. I'll say, like I said, my story is after the military as far as my training and where I'm at right now.